Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Dan Rock's Rock Box. It's a Wednesday night. Full moon blessings to you all. And on a Wednesday, it's special guest evening. And I've been waiting so long to get this lady on this box. I've wanted her from lockdown, but unfortunately, she didn't have the equipment to come on board. So her lovely granddaughter has given her this equipment, and she is in the 21st century with technology, more so than I am. So here she is. And not only am I super excited to have this lady on board, but I know there's a lot of you out there who have recommended this lady, and it's lovely to have viewers recommend people. So I perhaps would have been burnt at the stake if I never had this lady come on board. So it is the beautiful Maureen Rolls. She's an amazing at what she does, animal communications. And I see that she's in the waiting room. So hello to everyone: Pauline, Shardy, Belinda, Andrea, Carolyn. I know where you're going at 7 o'clock. Carolyn Biggs, Janet, Karen. So yeah, this lady was not born for waiting. So I'm not going to keep her in this room any longer. So please give a huge warm welcome to the lovely Maureen Rolls.
Well, that was wonderful. What an introduction. I'm not sure I can live up to all of that. Thank you.
You have already, sweetheart. We'll say goodbye now.
You.
Give it up.
Thank you very much. It was interesting. I did like your advert with all the dogs and cats and everything on. I had one of them talking to me while I was waiting to come on board. So yes, so fantastic. So thank you for having me on.
Maureen, it's an absolute pleasure. Like I said in the intro, we discussed this near the beginning of lockdown, because when I was thinking of people I would like to come on board, you were one of them. Not only from my recommendations, but from other people. And so, but unfortunately, we didn't have the equipment.
Thanks to my granddaughter showing me how to use it all.
And here we are.
So that's fantastic.
To the 21st century.
Exactly.
We've got so many people here saying hello. Andrea, sweetheart, who is in India. Pauline, Karen, Sylvia. People are dropping in now and speaking. So,
hi to everyone.
For those people who don't know you, and I know you've got a big backstory, but if we can just
bring it in
a little bit of who you are and what you do.
Right. Well, I'm Maureen Rolls, and I'm based in Devon, and I do animal communication and healing. I have been doing this all my life. Learned as a child to stop talking about it because I was that weird girl. So for a long, long time, people didn't know. People that know me did not realize. So yes, and eventually I've done a lot of work all my life with animals, not only doing communication, but rescuing as well. So I ran a charity for over 40 years, rescuing Dartmoor and Bodmin Moor ponies. And yes, just about anything that was an animal, a bird, anything at all. If it was in trouble, I would help it. And the archangels would send them to me. I would have them turning up outside my gateway, waiting for me so as I could help them. Dogs that are lost, ponies with mare with a foals, and she had a newborn foal and a yearling, and she dropped dead outside my gate. So yes, wonderful. I was able to take the two foals in and contact the owner. Said he didn't want them because it was too much trouble to bottle feed all the time for the foals. So the charity took them in. So yes, that's amongst the thousands and thousands of animals that I've helped over my 70 odd years of being on this planet. But that's why
You're
I
not
came here.
70 odd.
I am.
You're not. Don't bring your past lives into this, Maureen. You are not. A day
Oh,
over
bless
50.
you.
A day
I
over
do love
50.
you. But yes, so I've come to this planet to help animals. That's been my soul journey. I was born into a large family, all meat eaters. And as a baby, when mum was trying to introduce meat to me, I would spit it out. Never eaten meat. I don't eat meat, fish, chicken, eggs, and I've never eaten it. And yeah, I can't. That's what I've come here for. It's been my soul journey to help animals. So, and I love every minute of it. I really do. So, yes.
And it shows, Maureen. It literally
Yes.
shows. Yeah, you've certainly not wasted a moment of your past. You have filled it with such integrity and working from your heart. I've got a comment here from Sylvia. She has been fortunate to have been live at a talk from Maureen and can
Nice.
tell she is amazing.
Oh, bless her. Thank you, Sylvia. Yes, there's many things I've helped animals with. And I've got, oh, lovely.
So,
Rocco, I remember Rocco.
yeah.
Bless, that's fantastic. But anything really, whether it's wild, whether it's in the sea, whether it is domesticated, and I don't need to be with them, I can talk to them via photographs. So if there's something going on the news to do with whales or sharks or whatever, dolphins, or any of the wild animals in other countries, I can help them. So I communicate via just the vision and the photographs. I can tune into their energy. Once I've done that, I can feel what they're feeling. I can talk to them. I can give and receive vision, and I can also do healing on them as well. So fantastic. I don't even need to be with them. So I deal with animals worldwide, domesticated and wild. Love it. Love it.
I've just put your
I see that. Thank you very much. Yes. There's some case histories on there.
Because
Sarah May. We'd love to know how her dogs are thinking. He's unwell. Yes. This is the kind of thing I deal with all the time. It's either behavior problems or they're not well, or the vets or whatever have come to the end and they can't find out what's going on. And the reason, because I do healing on humans as well, but mainly with animals and with humans, vets and doctors do not understand what I do. It's kind of up there and off the world. But they do, because I'm working with energy, they don't understand, because the body, the physical body, needs the energy as much as it needs the physical body itself. And if that energy is not right, and that can be caused by the conditions they've lived with, the abuse they've had, and that is sad very often, and also the fact that they're not being understood sometimes. Once they can talk to me and I can help them with what they need, they can change around their behavior, even their health. I'll give you one instance, if you like, of a dog who, for several years, the lady had been taking the dog to specialists of all sorts, and they couldn't seem to get to the problem, to the root of the problem. And she was walking her dog with my friend, and my friend said to her, "You ought to talk to Maureen." So the lady who was, she wasn't skeptical, but her husband certainly was, and that happens a lot, sent me the photograph. I got into the energy and right away had to come back out because I realized there was something attached to this dog, a not so good entity. And I came out of it and I said to my friends, I'm not sure how they're going to take this, but I really need to go down to the house. I need to not only take this entity away from this dog, I need to cleanse their home and cleanse them as well, and their vehicles. And the hubby was not too sure and didn't want to. And I said, well, I'm not wasting my time. If I can't do everyone, I'm not cleansing the whole thing away. It can re-manifest. Anyway, hubby agreed. I went down. I done it. As soon as I got there, the dog ran straight over and sat on my feet. And they said, he hasn't been doing that. And I said, well, he knows I'm here to help him. And while we were talking, the entity, I could see the entity. So I said, right, okay, let me do what I need to do. So I did what I needed to do. I cleansed the house, the garden, and I even went out and done the cars and cleansed the people. Now, the vet had told them that the dog he wanted to do some more exploratory work. But the way the dog was going, he didn't give it much more than a couple of weeks to live. And I got rid of this entity, done healing on the dog, as I say, cleansed everywhere. And that dog, this was what I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, that dog's still alive today. And the dog has been different ever since. So I got rid of the entity. So there's nothing fantastic. Well, I say I done it. No, it's not I. It is the archangels. I work with the archangels in the 7th dimension. So it's the 7th dimension energy that's working through me. They're with me wherever I go. And it is not unusual. I've been to big auditoriums where there's been psychics and past life people up on stage, and they've come down and they've walked past, because I usually sit on the edge because I have problems with my knees sometimes. And he walked past and he stopped and he said, I love your energy. I love it, he said. And I felt the right idiot. There were about 600 people in this place. So it's the archangel's energy, you see. So it's that 7th dimension energy, and it's fantastic. I really cannot say it's me. It's the archangels working through me, and many, many other higher beings as well. So I've had lots of different beings working through me, because I open myself up to them all for the higher good, because they can help the animals. I can't. I'm just the tool. So fantastic. So does anybody want to ask anything that I can help with? No? Okay, well, it's gone a bit quiet, so I'll carry on talking if I may. Yes, so many other things. Horses, animals that's been abused. I was doing a workshop, an animal communication workshop at a livery yard, which was on a farm. And in the afternoon, we were going to do the one-to-one with animals. And there was a horse they brought out, which is a cob, an Irish cob. And for the first time in my life, I had an animal swear at me and tell me to F off. And if I didn't, he would get me. He would bite me or kick me. So I asked everybody to stand back out of his space and don't crowd him, because he had been badly abused. And the awful things this horse told me, he showed me how he was tied to a pole and just left with his legs all tied and left to fight it out, to halter break himself. And to top it all, the person that owned him at that stage, who was an Irish dealer, castrated him without any, he done it himself without any anesthetic or anything, just castrated this poor horse. And so he had been through a lot. And then he didn't like the crossing to come over to England, being on the ferry. And all in all, he was on his way, apparently, to the abattoir when this young girl felt sorry for him and bought him. And the vets and everybody at the yard told her to have him put down because he was dangerous. Anyway, after talking to the animal, saying, please let me help you. You were on your way to be put down. I said, you need to understand what's happening, and I can help you. So that's exactly what I did. He allowed me, he said, don't touch me. I said, I won't touch you. I said, I will do the healing on you, and I will work on you, and I'll help you to make connection with your mum, your mare, your natural mum. So I did all of that. And 2 months later, this young girl that had saved him from going to the abattoir was riding him, and nobody could get anywhere near him. So yes, fantastic.
That is beautiful. just going to show you some comments coming in, Maureen. So the lovely Belinda.
Hi, Belinda.
I think she's your #1 fan.
She's wonderful. She's wonderful.
She is.
It's fantastic, Belinda. Thank you.
And then Carolyn Biggs.
Yes. Hi, Carolyn. There's not one bad animal in this world. No, it's bad people, I'm afraid. They only reflect how they've been. They're not born with problems. It's humans that give these animal problems. And if they are unfortunate enough, if people don't understand and do not help them and understand them, then the behavior gets worse.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hi, Karen. I remember finding your bird, bless him.
A very dear friend of mine.
Fantastic.
In fact, I think you should get in touch with Karen, and I think there could be a little workshop, something that you two could do amongst the birds.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I must admit. I have this guy's. Oh, right. Okay. All I would need, Pauline, is a photograph and the name of your cat. It could be emailed to me. Well, I have a thing about steroids. I'm sorry. With the charity I ran, I would not, with the ponies, I would not allow steroids at all because of the side effects that you can get from this, and particularly for horses as well. So yes, but there is a way of detoxing, and I can do some of that as well with the healing that I do. Not easy, because we all go down the route of trying to help our animals with the conventional way, and if vets can't solve it because they don't know, they'll try this, they'll try that, and they'll try the other. Mm-hmm. I actually had a phone call from a vet one Friday afternoon, a female vet, and she said, "You don't know me. I'm a vet. I have had 4 clients. None of them know each other, where I've been at the end of my help towards the animal. They've come to you. You've done your communication and healing, and I don't know how you do it, and I don't want to know, but you have solved the problem for those 4 animals. So please, can I refer to you when I can do nothing for them any further?" So that was my first. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Angel.
You're getting in there. You're getting
Excellent.
in there.
Fantastic.
Dawn Parker. Hi, Maureen. What a beautiful gift you have. Please, can you tell me if it's possible for animals to suffer from dementia?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And for a good 60 years, I didn't know that animals could have a nervous breakdown either. But I have come across a few horses that have had breakdowns. I've had dogs that have had dementia. So yes, they can, Dawn.
Thank you. Lily, she's just incredible work.
Bless
I
you.
second that.
Thank you, both of you.
And Sarah May, my boy has bad trouble with his back legs. We have tried all tabs and nothing has worked.
Right, now, this may be something that I could help with. It may not be. It just depends how this works. I'm working with the energy, so I can move the energy around, because what may be happening is there may be a blockage of energy, which means that the energy and what should be going to that rear end is not. I can release those blockages if that's the problem, and I can allow the energy, make the energy work through. And yes, we can bring the use of the legs and everything back. However, sadly, like humans, if it's destined to happen and your dog is destined to have this, I can't alter it. I can't change destiny. I can do the work for things that are physical and blockages and that sort of thing, but I can't change destiny. And if he's meant to have this for whatever reason, and animals do come here to teach us lessons, and we are with them because we become soulmates. You have soul animals that are with you, and they're here to teach you something. If it's that, I can't alter anything. That is all destined to be. But if that isn't it, yes, I can. My other boy has colon cancer. Well, Bless, I had a lady, again, cancer is a dreadful, dreadful thing. Bless him. I had a lady come to my stage 2 workshop. She brought her dog so that my students could do the stage 2 psychic operation, and I could teach them what to do. She carried the dog in, and again, this dog had cancer. It was a lovely collie, and she had to carry her dog in. We did the work on the dog, and we did the healing on the dog. We did the psychic operation, and every single one of my students saw the cancer shaped like a pear or like a light bulb. So it was fantastic. We all saw the same. We removed it. That lady on her way home, she travelled up from Cornwall to Yelverton to do the workshop. And then on her way home, she stopped and she opened the door to lift the dog out to go to the toilet. And the dog jumped out, had a wee, no blood, and lived for another 3 years. So, yes, and she let me know when that dear dog died. So yes, again, it's something that I could do. If it's not meant to be, I can help. But I can't make promises, and I never do make promises because that's for them up there and not for me. Mm-hmm. But certainly, she's done Reiki on him. Well, good for you, because that does help. Yeah. He won't seem keen because you are giving him pain, because the pain... I've had my husband before now pleading with me to stop healing him, and I've said, no, you've got to go through that pain barrier. What animals do is they will move away from you, and they will turn around and will actually put the point of the body that they want you to heal towards you. Mm-hmm. So don't let that put you off, because some animals find my energy far too powerful and will stand away from me. And the people worry, and I say, no, don't worry. He is adjusting, or she is adjusting to my energy, and she is allowing it to work in the way it should. So don't let that worry you, Sarah. You carry on doing that healing, because you don't need to touch him with Reiki, and you don't need to just aim your energy at him and do the work. It will help a lot.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And, normally I have to entice these viewers to ask questions. Normally I have to part with some crystal or even money to get them to do comments, but they're doing it without me badgering them. So
fantastic.
Going. I've just got one from Shardy. Right. A shame we didn't meet before she lost her 2 girls. One was a cat and one was the horse. The horse is...
I can see the horse there. Lovely. Now, I do live and deceased animals, Shardy. So I not only communicate with animals that are here on this planet, but I also communicate with those that are crossed over. And if they haven't crossed over, I help them to cross over. And I'll give you that kind of thing that happened. One lady had her horse go missing from a field, asked me to communicate with the horse, which I did. And as soon as I got into the energy, I could see this river and in full space and flooding the field, and the horse got washed away downstream and was actually dead. Oh. She had thought someone had stolen the horse, and I was able to tell her no. And this dear soul was then, because it all happened so quick and so fast, he didn't know he was dead. Oh, and he said, but she's not feeding me. She's coming in the field. She's not feeding me. And I said, but sweetheart, you're dead. He said, no, I'm not. I said, yes, you are. I said, let me bring the light down and you cross over, and I'll let her know that you are dead. So I sadly had to let the lady know that his body was further down, way down in the river, and that he was actually dead, but I had helped him to cross over. So yes, animals usually cross over. Angels come forward for us, and they come forward for animals as well. And when an animal has died very tragically, and I've dealt with a lot of ponies on Dartmoor that's been hit by cars and needed to be put down. And when I've contacted the angels afterwards, they've told me that any animal that dies before their destined time, and tragically, they go into reception, where their soul is healed. And when their soul is healed, they're then released to go out and join their soul family and the human family that they've got out there, as well as their own family. So it's absolutely wonderful, and I have been shown where they go. It's been, I tell you, it's just indescribable. It's just too beautiful. I hear the voice or visualize it. Right, okay. Sometimes I can hear the voice. It's like someone stood beside me. Most of the time, it's more like I'm talking to myself, but it's far too quick. And over the years of doing this all my life, I've got to recognize and accept and believe. So therefore, I know when I'm getting an answer and the answer's right. And if I'm not quite sure, I will say to the archangels, have I heard this right? And they will clarify it for me. So fantastic. But I think the funniest one I had was a lady, I didn't know anything about the dog, but she asked if I could communicate with the dog. And I got into its energy. It was actually 1-to-1. I was right in front of it. And she brought it to another of my workshops. And as I was communicating, this dog, I said to this dog, it was just like talking to a farmer, the accent, the Devon accent, everything. And I felt like it was a farmer leaning on a gate talking to me. And I actually could hear the voice beside me. But I made the mistake of saying to the dog, and I've learned from this, have you ever sired any pups? He said, oh, yeah, we had a right raver in the yard. Yeah, oh, yeah. And I said, okay, that wasn't quite what I wanted to answer back. So I learned from that. But he had the accent. And I've had them with Scottish accents, and I've had them, strangely enough, with accents of foreign accents, but with the English speaking. As I say, it makes no difference whether they've been in a family that's spoken Greek all the time, whatever. They still understand there is this universal language which connects to any animals in any country, regardless of the language. There is no language barrier whatsoever. So yes, sometimes I do hear them say. Other times it's just like I'm talking to myself, which means
And Pauline Gamlin, I don't know what this is. It might be for the whole of the live so far, but she's getting goosebumps.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. That means someone is also taking this opportunity of connecting, because when I'm on a telephone, when I'm 1-to-1 with someone, when I'm like this visual, my energy is being spread by the archangels. So yes, those goosebumps are the archangels and your angels connecting to you. Wonderful.
Now, the next one is from my lovely husband. He's watching downstairs.
Excellent. Hi, Adam. Our first accounts used to be friends. Now they can't stand each other since we got more cats. Yes, you can. You can. It's about, you're talking of energy again, because now you've brought some others into their space. So now what you've got is you've got a hierarchy energy going on.
Don't we know?
The animal that is the least concerned will be the top dog or the top cat. And that's the one that doesn't need to argue so much. So the one that's not arguing is the hierarchy. The ones that are arguing are fighting for position. So yes, just observe the way they are and what they do, and you'll see who's working their way up through the ranks.
Every day is like a chess game in our house. To think who is making the less fuss. That changes. That changes. On a Saturday, it could be Harlan. On a Sunday, it could be Selena. Yeah. But we will monitor that. We will monitor that. Sarah May, she's got a client, so she's had to shoot off.
Right.
But she says, thank you for a great watch, and she's going to look you up. So I've just changed it to the Facebook page down below in case people want to see you on Facebook as well as.
Thank you.
Okay, so Belinda, she remembers you telling that story. I think it might have been the story about the collie.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
And
There are a
Sweeter,
lot of.
she's in India. So I think, does it really true that we can't give sweets to dogs because their hair will fall out?
Well, anything sweet is not good for them. That is alien to them. It's not what they would find in the wild. So anything you don't consider, so in other words, chocolate is poison. You'll find for certain animals, grapes are not good for them. Various things. It depends which animal it is, but best not give any sweets. But whether you mean by sweets is dog treat, which is different, which is specifically made for dogs, then you have an issue, because if it's got colorings into it, they do put coloring into treats. They also bleach and use glue for these skin hide chews. So if you're using that, that's very toxic. So you need to read the ingredients of what it is you're giving them as treats, if it's dog treats you're giving. And I would suggest you go more to a natural treat, because there are lots of companies now doing natural treats where there's no chemicals, no glue, no bleach. It's the same as us. We need to make sure that what they're having is healthy and as near to their natural diet as it should be.
Fantastic, absolutely. And Lily's got a question that I wanted to ask, but just before I bring up her question, thank you so much for taking over. You know, when you took over the screen, and I disappeared,
yeah,
I somehow switched my computer off. I went goodbye. And I really panicked because I thought, damn, we've got people, we've got good numbers, we've got people commenting, and I just switched off the computer. I didn't even realize that you could still carry on. I thought I cut the stream dead. So it was so nice to come back on and to see you just chatting away as normal. And I just thought,
what I do.
And talking of angels, and a question I wanted to ask you, but Lily Jack has asked it. Are there any specific archangels you work with?
Yes, there's 5 main archangels I work with. Archangel Gabriel, and he has appeared in front of me twice. The first time he came to say to me that I needed to allow people to know that I do animal communication and to stop hiding it like I've been doing all my life. So that was the first thing. He came on another occasion and gave me my wings, and I didn't understand what that meant, but he gave them to me. And on another occasion, he came forward and told me I needed to remove myself from the charity and delegate that work to someone else and allow myself to do this, because I had a longer journey here educating people about animal communication. So Archangel Gabriel, definitely. Archangel Shamuel, who is the pink ray of light, and it's love and compassion, works with me an awful lot, especially when I'm trying to help people that's been through traumatic times, animals that's been through traumatic times, and teaching people how to be able to cope with circumstances in their life that's been traumatic, particularly if someone's not being nice to them, and is if you've got a husband that's sort of being dominant, or a mother that's being dominant, she can work on all of that for you and do a lot of work. Archangel Raphael, he's the green ray of light, and he's the healer. And needless to say, I work a lot with Archangel Raphael. We do a lot of work together. Archangel Zachiel, who is the purple ray of light, and I have to say, purple is my favorite color, purple and blue. And he's been with me all my life. He's the teacher. He's the one that guides me, and he helps me a lot. He brings things forward and guides me through my soul journey. And Archangel Michael, who is the royal blue ray of light, and he's the protector. He's the one you see depicted with a sword and a shield. So yes, those are the 5 main ones, but I do work with others, because when I start, I open myself up and I call forward any archangels that wants to work with me, or just the angels, anybody at all, or anyone in the higher beings in the higher realm to work with me, but only for the higher good of myself, the humans and animals, etc., that I'm working with. So yes, I work with lots of them, but the main 5 are those 5.
Perfect. Brilliant. Brilliant. I will be digging out, especially Zakael.
Zakael, yes. If you like purple, he is with you. He's working with you.
I love. Well, you can see our banners are just suited
I
for
know.
you.
It's
These are
lovely.
the colours we choose because we love purple.
I've
So
got this angel room here that I've got my treatment room. It's all purple and blue all over. It's just purple and blue. So fantastic. I miss it. I've had cats since I was 5 years. I'm never getting any more because it breaks my heart to lose them. However, in spite of that, they seem to turn up at my door. I know they come from. Yes, I know that feeling well, Dawn. I know it so well. I have the cat that lives next door to me, and we've only got one neighbour. That cat packed its bags and moved in with us. I know what it's like, Dawn. He came in and she said, I don't like the energy in there. They're arguing. And of course, they separated. So oh dear. And she still lives with us. She's a real character. So yes, I know what that's like. And animals come to you, Dawn, because of your aura. Let's not forget our aura. That aura tells animals so much because a lot of animals can see our aura. They can see what colors it is, how kind you are, how loving you are. And don't forget, the angels are guiding them to you. So yes, Dawn, sorry, but that's never ever going to change. And just thank your lucky stars they come, because it's you're going to enjoy it all. It brings its sorrow. It really does bring its sorrow. But that's because you've got such a strong connection with them. And when you get a soul connection with them, it is like losing family. It's like losing a child. And you actually feel that void of that energy when they've gone. So just enjoy it and don't allow yourself to get down too low each time they pass over, because they will come back and visit you in spirit. I can guarantee that.
yeah, and get on Amazon and stock up on cat litter. It's not going to end.
Lovely.
Oh, before that, sorry. So no.
Yes, they do. They are like humans. They've all got different personalities. I've had some test me, and it's comical, just like humans will do. And when humans do it with a straight face, animals will do it as well like that. And I suddenly clicked on one of them that was doing it. I said, "You're trying me out, aren't you?" I said, "Wondered how long it take you to log on to that." Yes, they have, and some are funny. Some will tell me jokes. Others are more, it's their health and issues they want to tell you about. So yes, they have a sense of humor. And I just love it. The same as humans, they're all different with different personalities.
Perfect. And sweeter, thank you, Maureen. Also, Dan, for doing this event online so I can also attend it. Also help me and also to listen to Maureen. Thank you so much. And she's from India. She's watching from India. So
thank you
for tuning in and watching us. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It certainly is. Maybe past the see-through images. Yes, some come through like, yes, exactly. It's no different. When I'm having visions, the visions are sometimes like a photograph. Sometimes when I'm talking to an animal, and I've done this with animals that have been lost, they will take me like I'm in a movie and I'm going with them on that journey. So yeah, they can appear before me. Usually they can also bring forward other animals that have passed over. For instance, I have animals saying, we have spirit animals coming and it's this color, and shows me the cat or the dog or whatever. And when I describe it to the owner, they say, oh my gosh, that was the cat or dog I had before I had this one. So yes, exactly the same. And I'm a bit like a medium. I can do medium work and psychic work, but I choose not to. Why would I want to be talking to humans when I can talk to animals?
It's the best thing
Forgive me for
about
that.
lockdown.
But there's lots of psychics and mediums out there. And I always say to myself, they're much better than me. So go see them. But if you've got a dog, cat, horse, whatever, or I've even done snakes, dragons, I've done all sorts in my life. Budgies, canaries, parrots, and the list goes on.
Perfect. Fantastic. Got a friend of yours, I think, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. She's wonderful. I do love Lisa. Lisa, how are you, darling?
Thank you for watching, sweetheart.
Yes, beautiful.
The questions. I had so much to ask you, and it's like, no, the viewers are speaking.
Well, for years I had no one. I'm fortunate enough to have a mum that was psychic. She used to do seances and things, and I was the only. I had 3 brothers, 3 sisters, and my father, of course. And they were all scared of this. They were frightened of their life. I used to go to the seances as a little one with my mum. So she kept this brain open. Whether I was born with it open, she kept it open. So yes, mum, but I wasn't shown how to do things. It just happened. And for a long, long time, I knew I had someone helping me, but I didn't know who. And of course, it was the archangels. And eventually, as I got older, I just said, I don't know who you are. Please show yourself and let me know. So they did. For a long, long time, I had no one, no tuition, nothing. I didn't go to workshops. It just happened. And I came through my life just continuing to do what I always done, and that's talking to animals. And animals would be guided to me and talking to the angels when I knew the angels were working with me. But before that, I just used to say, whoever you are, I need some help with whatever. And it would happen. They'd help me. Even with my charity, when I had to get out of the fields we were renting and this yard we were renting, because the house was up all sewed, I had nowhere to go. And I just brought in 13 colts that had been abandoned in Plymouth. And I had about another 15 horses in the yard. And I thought, where the hell am I going to go? I've got nowhere to go. So I just said, I need your help, please. And believe me, I was given a telephone number out of the blue, and it worked out. And I took over that yard, and we were there for, I don't know, about 25 years. Wow. So asking for help, they will help if you ask. And if you're talk to them, and I talk to them just like I'm talking to you. I don't, I ask in a way that is sensible for me, what I want from the middle of my heart. And I say, this is what I need. This is what I need help with. Can you please help me? And they do. And when I have a hubby that used to keep having a flu injection, and he'd be ill, get over the flu. He'd get ill right away, get over it, get flu again after that, get flu. So from October to March, he'd be ill all the time, bad. And I eventually talked to him. He no longer has injections and he's healthier for it. But, he used to have this. And on one occasion, my body was succumbing to it. I just went in and laid down on the bed and I said, Archangel Raphael, I've got a lot of work to do. I haven't got time to be ill. I haven't got the patience for it. Please take this away from me. But the next morning I'd stop sneezing and I'd stop coughing and I was fine. Just ask. There's so much they can help you with. Don't rely on convention. We've got ways and means of doing and helping ourselves. You just need to ask for help and they will give it. If you've got free will, they can't force it on you. So you have to ask.
Absolutely. And, talking about asking for help, a little thing I want to delve deeper in, because we touched on this when we did our little trial test the other day, is, you've not just helped the domestics, but you've helped wildlife, and especially the badgers. Yes. You have been a very strong...
Do you want me to tell my story?
You tell the story, absolutely.
Tell the story. Well, badgers are blamed for TB, and it really is not. They're just the excuse, a bit like this virus at the moment. You're not being told the truth, folks, okay? And the angels told me we aren't being told all the full facts. So likewise with badgers, we're always being blamed. And my husband and I used to do a lot of badger watching and a lot of helping all creatures, foxes, anything else. We've got no qualms with any of them. They're all here for a purpose anyway. Locally here, they were killing all the badgers. And of course, they were our sets. We used to go and we used to have badgers call on us. We've stopped doing that now because they were put at risk by being shot by the farmers who went back over the hedge. So MAF, as it was then, were coming in and trapping and killing, and they go and trap them, put peanuts in, trap it, come out through the next day and shoot them. So they'd be in there all night and they'd come next day and shoot them and put them in a bag, take them back to the laboratory. And so we got fed up with this. So we went down and we trashed the cages and let the badgers out. But we kept hearing the gun. And we thought, where the hell is that set? We didn't know about this one. And this is our territory, you know. So we went in camouflage and there was a little wood next to this bloody great big barn down there. Excuse my language, folks. And the MAF operators were coming in with their Land Rover. And they were stood by the barn. So my husband and I went through this little wood. And I was on my belly, all camouflaged up, crawling on my belly to try to hear where this set was. My husband pulling on my feet, trying to pull me back. And I'm crawling on a bit further. And next minute, one of these lads flings his cigarette down, cocks his leg over the fence, over this mesh fence, walks right beside me, and has a pee. He did not see me. I'm there thinking, don't move, Maureen. Don't move. Don't look. Don't move. And he had his pee, went back out and got over. My husband said to me, you're going to get caught. So yes, we've done a lot of work for badgers, and I have taken it into my hands to help them physically, as well as doing my animal communication. So I'll never forget that. That is something that will go with me to my deathbed.
I mean, you mentioned your husband, and it's always yourself and your husband helping these animals.
Yeah.
Was he into this or beforehand, or did it come with marrying you?
Well, he was very into wildlife. He walked Dartmoor and they would walk miles, and we both did, and had ridden as well, because at one stage I had a riding school and we used to ride out for miles and check sets. And yes, he was doing all this way before he knew me. And of course I was. So we are soulmates, because my first marriage was forget it. You know, I don't want to know it. It's there and it's gone. If it wasn't a fit boy, he wasn't interested. And then I vowed I'd never get involved with any other men. I'm fed up with men. And I thought, never, ever again. And then this lovely man, and I just couldn't fend myself. I couldn't help. We just fell in love. And it was meant to be. And the comical thing is, I mean, he's my son. No one else would put up with me. I'll tell you that now. But he's an absolute darling. He is. I love him to bits. And we have a fantastic life. And I sat down one day, because my mum and dad had died way before I met Les. And my mum came forward, and I was talking to my mum. I said, Mum, you don't know this, but I've remarried. She said, who the hell do you think put you two together? So his mum and my mum got together and said they aren't together, they should be, and got us together. So how about that? Oh. So I couldn't even tell my mum I had remarried.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Just lovely. There's no end to it. No end to it. It's wonderful. Start this journey, folks. Do what you're destined to do and just enjoy every minute of it. Absolutely. It will bring so much to you.
Okay, quite a big question here. I'm just peering over the screen. So is there a way I can protect my beautiful dog from feeling my stress and traumas? Her stomach, bowels, and skin tend to flare up, and I feel it may be a reaction to what is happening to me. She can't stand it when I attempt Reiki, and I tried selenite and also blue calcite next to her, but it didn't seem to help. Thank you, and sorry to ask so much.
Right, it's not too much. And quite honestly, can I firstly suggest you put yourself and your dog on a course of aconite, homeopathic 30C. Give yourselves, your dog and you, one tablet twice a day for 4 days and then one daily for 7 days. Now, that brings, because what's happening here, because you're stressed, your energy's out all over the place. It's not in the body doing what it should. The dog is trying to help you. So likewise, you're both spiraling down and down and down. If you're not careful, you're going to land up with some real health issues, both of you, because the dog is taking it on board. You're quite right, is trying to help you. So you need to make sure that you meditate. Please ground yourself. Do the cloak of negativity and get rid of all the rubbish that you're hanging on to. Open, cleanse, and close all your chakras. And then make sure you repair your aura. Ensure you do that at least once a week. And I hope that you're protecting yourself daily and protecting your dog. It's so simple to do. So make sure you're protected daily, because what we're doing, we're going out and about, and your animals are doing out and about. And if you haven't got that protection around you, you could be walking down the road past someone and whatever is attached to them will attach itself to you. You can be stood in a supermarket in a queue and their energy, it's affecting you. You're being bombarded. Then you've got the attack whereby others are talking about you. If they're not being nice about you behind your back and are talking about you, they're actually throwing daggers into your aura. So they're damaging your aura, which means the more and more damage you got, the more and more open you are to being susceptible to everybody's problems around you. And if you're doing healing, you are picking up the people that you're healing, you're picking up their energy. So please, if you do healing, always, always surround yourself in light, protect yourself. When your client comes in, be it animal or human, put the light around them so they cannot connect into your energy enough to drain your energy and make you ill. And likewise, when you finish communicating, you need to put the light around your client, your animal. You need to cut the cord because you are in their energy and you are still connected. So cut that cord and then make sure you bring the light back down over yourself so you're totally disconnected. Do not ever do any healing unless you do that process. And that includes with your own animal. So you need to make that distance. And again, there is a way of Archangel Chamuel helping with that. Because Archangel Chamuel can put her pink ray of light around you and use that pink ray of light. If you've got someone at work or in the family who is arguing all the time and giving you hassle at work, pressure, everything, once you go to work or you see that person, you've got that pink light around you. Visualize that light around the person that's giving you aggro. Do not say anything to them. If they're arguing with you, just keep quiet. Just look at them. Do not smile, but just look at them. And watch their energy fade as they realize they're not taking your energy, because the argument is like two dogs barking at each other. It's just getting more and more out of control. If you've got that pink light around you, spread it around them and just keep quiet. And you watch that argument and those viciousness start to fade. And over time, they'll suddenly feel different. They'll think, hang on, they won't know why. You've done them no harm. You've given them love and compassion. Mm-hmm. And so you've done the right thing. And so therefore, you're not only helping yourself, you're helping that human or that animal as well. So that's what you need to be doing, sweetheart, because somewhere along the line, there's some links missing and you've left gaps, and that is allowing you to get all the aggro, all the problems and the bad energy. So start to learn from it and say, okay, I've learned, let's take this away and be positive about it and say to them, I don't want this, I don't need it.
Lovely, Sally. Maureen,
Sally.
what a wonderful soul you are. I've really enjoyed listening to you, and you too, Dan. Bless you,
That's
Sally.
lovely, thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. And yeah, and Lily has just responded back to say thank you so much.
You're welcome, Lily. You're welcome, everyone, by the way. I hope it's all something that everyone can take on board.
Absolutely. And you know, I first met you doing the events, and I have heard, I'm trying to get rid of this comment here. There we go. And I've heard so much about the workshops, so many people have been to your workshops. How have you coped over the last 6 months? How has Maureen been able to do what Maureen does best?
Right. Well, Maureen didn't stop. Maureen did stop. I cancelled all my workshops because obviously of the close proximity. And by the way, I don't do the video workshops because with me, it's about energy. And the more people you've got there, the better energy. The more questions get answered, the more answers, the more you learn. And I like for animals to come in the afternoon. So in the morning, they're communicating with animals via photograph. Because first it's meditations, get themselves in the right frame of mind. Then it's introduced to their animal spirit guide. Then they're communicating with animals via photographs. And I have nothing to do with that. They swap photographs with someone else and they read somebody else's cat, dog, horse. And then afterwards they go back and they get verification. So I'm having nothing to do with it. It is them. I'm proving to them they are communicating with animals. Then in the afternoon, I give them the opportunity of communicating with 2 visiting animals so they can feel the difference between doing it with a photograph and doing it one-to-one. Because if I'm asked to go to see to someone's horse in a yard, I can go and I could have half a dozen horses talking to me at the same time. They take the opportunity to come in and that happens. So I do not, very rare, it's only when the archangels tell me I need to go and do one-to-one that I go and do it. On the whole, every single communication I do is via photograph. And I believe you and me, I've got clients all around the world. I've helped with in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, America, Greece, you name it, France. I even had some from Hong Kong recently. So I don't need to go anywhere. If I've got that photograph, I can get into that energy and I can feel. So through the lockdown, the only thing I wasn't able to do was to do the communications one-to-one, which were very rare, to do any house cleansing or by visit if it's serious, because I can also cleanse a house without even being there, a yard, wherever. I can cleanse it all, again, with just a description, and sometimes not even with that, just their address. I can cleanse everything. So communication didn't stop for me. I carried on. I was as busy through the lockdown as I would have been otherwise. In fact, I think I was probably more busy with the photographs. But workshops, I miss them. I miss that watching, because everyone's there and they're thinking they're making it up, and you can see it on their face, and I'm giggling to myself. And then when they get it confirmed, I got this right, I got that right, and what they could feel while they were doing the healing, I get the pleasure from that. That gives me a lot of pleasure, because I'm thinking there are more animals out there and they're going to get more help. Because I've had other psychics who have said to me, why'd you do that? About it's like you're giving away like clients, if you like. I said, no, not at all. I can't cover everywhere in the world.
No.
I'm not robbing myself of anything. And
no.
I'm here to help animals. And that's the more people I can get communicating with animals, the better it is for the animals out there, and the better it is for the humans as well.
Totally agree.
So yes, it didn't really affect me in that sense, but I do miss workshops. But next year we're back onto par, providing COVID disappears.
I mean, it would be nice if we're still in Exeter and we've still got our centre. I think it would be nice to invite you to come and do a workshop there.
I'd love to. Yeah,
and
I'd love to.
come on board with there, because it is fascinating. It is really interesting. And, we're not short of animals. We've got 2 rabbits. We've got 5 cats. So
I love it.
we can fill that centre with animals.
Right.
In fact, our poor male rabbit is feeling a bit sorry for himself. He had his little op yesterday. So
oh, bless him.
yeah, he's ballless. So
oh no, dear of him.
yeah, he can't look for it. They say, like, do you still love me?
Yes, of course you do. Of course you do.
So, Dawn Parker, did you say you worked with whales?
Yes.
What kind of thing do they communicate to you?
Right. Well, whales will tell me about the sea and what's going on and what we're doing to the sea and how it's harming them. And I also had this with the dolphins as well. I don't know if you remember a few years back, a whole load of dolphins beached themselves down in Cornwall, and there was a load of them. And when I communicated with them, I saw it on TV and I communicated with them. They told me that they decided they were very disorientated because there was a supersonic noise going on, which disorientated them. And they could have got through that. But they thought, if that's what we're going to use, we humans are going to use, they needed to make us aware of the damage it was doing to them. So they gave themselves up to open our minds. And they all beached themselves because they had come here to allow us to know what we're doing to the sea and what we're doing to the mammals within that sea. And there was denials about trials going on with supersonic, noises going on. And then it was actually proven that, yes, they were trialing some very special, but they didn't want, one country didn't want, we didn't want others to know we were doing it. And eventually they had to admit they were trialing it. And in the end, they had to call a halt to it because they did know they were killing the mammals in the sea. So, yeah, all sorts of things. Always. And by the way, it's not just animals. I communicate with the spirit of the trees. I do with the elementals and the fairies and all sorts, the sprites and all sorts. I will talk to the spirits of the trees to find an animal that's lost. If I'm logged it and it's going down through a wood, I will ask the trees and I'll get the spirits of the trees coming forward to talk to me. Now that is another thing again. Fantastic. So there is nothing on this planet that we cannot do. Nothing at all. We just need to believe and allow our mind to work with it. And once we do that, believe you and me, they'll work with us, and just open your mind to it.
Absolutely. Sally Norden, can you communicate with insects too?
Yes, I can.
With snails and worms in the garden. Yeah. Well, if Sally can do it,
yeah,
I think Maureen
certainly can. And I've had where I've been down the yard when I had the yard and the girls were working, and there was a caravan where they used to go in for their lunch and tea breaks. And I was down there one day and in came a wasp and they all were going, ah, and I just said to it, and I do this with flies as well, go back out the way you came in. You're not welcome in here and no one wants to harm you. So turn around and go back out the way you came. And with that, the wasp went back out and they went, what? And I said, yeah, just tell it to go back out the way it came in. So yes, insects are very important as well. So well done if you're communicating with them. Good girl.
Absolutely. They all help. Every small, big animal, insect.
That's right.
Reptiles, they are all part of what makes us go round. So
it is. Yeah. They've all got a purpose. All got a purpose.
Absolutely. And, just to mention that this special lady is being nominated for an award, the Soul Awards of 2020.
Oh, bless you.
So please, when you go onto a website, there should be information there to vote for this lady. I don't know why, because I can't think of anybody else who would be nominated in your category. It should be the Maureen Rolls, you know.
Oh, bless you.
Because when it comes to animal communicators, you know, I know there's another lady who does it in the Southwest, but you're the only, you know, I don't come across anybody else. I mean, you come across the charlatans, you come across those who, you know, claim to, but you know, you've got the gift for sure, and you've got a past to back up. You know, you've got cases as long as, you know, my underwear, which isn't that long actually, but as long as the long johns, you know.
Yeah. God bless you. Thousands and thousands and thousands of animals I've dealt with, far too many to mention, far too many. But thank you for that. It's the Soul and Spirit Magazine Awards. And yes, I do an article each month on an animal. Someone sends a photograph through, the magazine sends it through to me, and I communicate with that animal, whether it's alive or deceased, and I just feed it back to the magazine. So each month there's an article in Soul and Spirit Magazine. So they've put me up as there's three of us. There's Diana Cooper, and I don't know who the other person is, to be honest. Sorry, forgotten. But there are three of us. So yeah, please. if you vote for me, I'd be very grateful.
Well, you know, I think Diana Cooper, we'll leave her with the unicorns. And the other person, who? I'm not going to vote for somebody I don't know. So you get my vote, girl.
Bless you. Thank you, Tam. Thank you.
Want to see you President of the US of A. Elect Rolls. Let's get you on. So, guys, if you've got any more questions at all for Maureen, please do ask us. You know, it's nice to have people on who share my passions. Animals are a huge one of mine, and at the moment, I'm just doing my recording for my show on the radio. And funny enough, the first one I'm talking about is going to be Badger.
Yes.
And my word, doesn't he want to come out? He is bold as brass.
Yes.
When I talk about the spirit of Badger, and yeah, very much relevant, very much there.
Very strong animal, very strong. Energy, extremely strong. I mean, for years I've watched them, and on one occasion, as I said, they used to come here, and on one occasion they left the cub, and they left the cub with us, and they went off for the night. And I was there, and I thought, oh my God. Anyway, they came back about 4:30 in the morning, took the cub and went off. So we were babysitting. They left that cub. We were babysitting. That's what you know, the confidence they had in us. I couldn't believe it. I'd never had that before. So wonderful.
That is fantastic. Amazing.
Very clean animals, very strong. Yes, I work with chakras. I work with the 7, and I also work with the 12. I work with them both, depending what I'm doing. And but really, everyone should be linked now into the full range of their chakras if they haven't, because the energy's been coming to this planet since 2012. And you know, we're definitely moving into the higher dimension, higher dimensions, I should say. And so we need to have those chakras connected to make sure we're receiving what we should. And sadly, everyone is sat in fear at the moment with this blooming thing that's going on. And while they're sat in fear, they're keeping themselves held in the 3rd dimension.
Yeah. It's funny because my workshops I do in person are with the chakras. And this year, I should have been launching the throat, the 3rd eye, and the crown ready for next year. we're starting to delve into the higher chakras.
Yeah.
So it was really frustrating for us that lockdown happened. I managed to do one throat.
Yes.
I had a group ready to do the throat chakra, and then that was it. So next year will be the third eye and the crown for those who are up to that stage, and then look into the higher chakras. So yes, roll on, because it will be great to connect. Because like you say, 2012, we got onto those.
Yes. Well, I had one of the archangels, Archangel Gabriel again, came forward and told me when this new energy was coming forward that he was going to give me a meditation to use to connect to all the chakras. And he did so. And I then sent it to Soul and Spirit magazine because he told me I needed to get it out there. And I said, "Are you interested?" And they said yes. So they done a big two or 3 page spread on it, which was great because it gave that push to get it out there to spread the word. So yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely. Although I seem to have gained a couple more because I've got 14 chakras.
Yeah, there are more. There are more. To be honest with you, Dan, there are chakras throughout there's hundreds of them throughout the body. Literally hundreds and hundreds. Yeah. So if you've got someone that's got problems with their lungs, you can open the chakras there. Ears, all sorts. But yes, the main ones to make sure we're connected from down right through to the top. Yeah.
Yeah. I deal with I'll take them through the base first. Then the solar plexus, heart. Then we bring in the higher heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, and then the higher chakras. We work Earth Star.
Yeah, that's it.
Then the Soul Star, then the Spirit Chakra, Universal, Galactic, and we end on the Divine Gateway.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. Cool. So yes, but once all of those, they should be connected right up through, so they're now receiving that energy and everything they need to. There's a danger, if not, that they're being held into the third dimension and not moving on.
Thank you, Tracy. What a beautiful dog in your profile picture.
Yes, fantastic. Wonderful. That'd be great. The thing is with everyone, Tracy, we all have a connection to our own animals. So in your own way, you're communicating with them anyway. Dan, you would do very well with all what you're doing. It would just be like putting the pieces of the jigsaw together for you. And suddenly you'll think, oh, that's why that happens. And that's why this happens. It's just giving you the tools, basically, to finish piecing it together for you. If you've got animals, you're definitely connected to them and you're definitely communicating in your own way, and they are communicating with you. But it's being able to do the rest of it, to talk, to have vision, and to feel what they're feeling. All of that is what's important. Absolutely. So fantastic.
This is Maureen's website at the bottom here in the banner. So this is a good one to communicate. Just state an interest for when this lady could come out in person and do some of these amazing workshops. Or if you've got Facebook, this is where you can find her on Facebook. She's always there in the mornings giving her unicorn cards out.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's the archangels told me to do that, to help people through the lockdown. And it just matches everyone that's there. It's amazing. They come back and I say it's not me. The angels keep choosing them and the unicorns keep giving me the cards. So, yep, that's it. Fantastic.
It's absolutely brilliant. It's so nice to be part of the community, and it's so nice to catch up with you, Maureen, because, like I say, we always get to see you throughout the events and things. And at the start of this, when it was affecting and we were touching base with those who we hold dearly, you were one of those. And it's just so nice to have you on here and just to share your knowledge. I mean, this is this is something that you are just giving freely to do, and we can't thank people like you who come on here and just spill what they are passionate about freely, because there are people out there who would be like, well, actually, give us 20 quid and I'll do this.
It's about, yes, you have to make a living, and yes, you do need money to and because at first I used to do everything for nothing, and I realized it was costing me a lot of money. So I said to the angels, and they said, well, you give a gift, you receive a gift. But let's face it, you have to be, this is not all about money, and it doesn't bother me. I keep being told I should be charging more. No, why should I? I need it to be affordable, that I can help animals, and not everybody can do that. And there are times where I've helped a lot of people with their own health, with their animals' health, and I've not charged them because that's what I do. That's what life is about. It's about spreading that energy, spreading that love. And you can't keep doing that if you're stuck in this money orientated side. No,
that is it. I mean, the way that I look at it, people say about my full-day workshops, and they're like, you need to charge more. But then I just sit there and I'm just like, I want it so everyone can come.
That's right.
And I want to help as many people as I can, because this is why I gave up one-to-one healing. Because for me, I don't want people on my couch and me healing them and then they come back 2 weeks time for more. I want to sit down and give them the tools.
Yeah,
and give them, you go
the
and
tools to do it. Yeah. That's
it.
what I always say. I can give you the tools and you can be doing this for yourself. Let me just switch on this light a minute. It's getting a bit dark. Excuse me.
Is it nearly time for your cocoa, love?
There, see, I do pay the electric. All right, I do pay the electric. I thought it's getting darker and darker.
Can we run some money
I just look like spirit coming through. You'll be able to see through me. I thought, this is getting darker. I must put that light on.
Brilliant.
Oh, bless.
So, Pauline Gamlin, my cat went missing.
Wonderful.
And I did a golden chain.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well done, Pauline. Well done. I keep telling people that a lot of it they can do themselves, because you have that connection with that animal. And if you send out that love from your heart and connect it to their heart, the golden chain works. And so do many other things. So yes, wonderful. Fantastic. And again, Pauline, that means you're on your journey doing it.
Absolutely. So Lily, I've been thinking of doing one of your workshops for a while now. I really do feel that connection with animals so much more than with humans. Absolutely, Lily. That's why I'm grateful for this lockdown, because I'm not bothered about not seeing many people. I mean, my nearest and dearest I am missing, but
yes,
just making me bond with nature and animals so much more. And
fantastic.
I know after lockdown, or after this is over, there are still people I want to keep their distance with.
Exactly. I agree. I always used to say, if it's not got 4 legs and a tail, I don't want to know. And humans, in fact, on the one and only time there was a lady collapsed up on the moor and someone came to my door. Oh, that was so funny. This man came and I said to him, right, there's the phone, you ring the police. And because there was snow and ice on the ground, it was an old lady and she'd been there all night. So I'd done a hot water bowl and a flask and all sorts and blanket, and off we went. And I'd left this chap to the phone for the police. Well, of course, the police knew me very well because I was always helping them. Yes. I was always helping them with them when they had ponies that were hit on the moor. So they'd call me out, you see. So I knew all the bobbies and my name was on their computer to call out. Anyway, so off I toddle and up we go, and we go to this lady and we wrap her up and all the rest. Next minute, a helicopter arrives. But before the helicopter arrived for her, there was a police Land Rover came belting down this track. I thought, my God, he's going a bit fast. And he came down, he said to me, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" He said, "Well, who was that made the phone call, the 999?" And I said, "Well, the chap," and I looked around, the chap had gone. I said, "Well, there was a bloke here just now." I said, "And there was a lady that stayed with this lady, but he disappeared." And he said, "Well, he just said the location and everything and where he was phoned." He said, and he put the phone down. He didn't give any details. So he said, with the history of you rescuing, because I used to take on dealers and all sorts of undesirables with as far as ponies were concerned, and I really did take them on. They had me on the top list, so if anything happened, they'd all come. Of course, because he put the phone down, they all came. And I said, "My God," I said, "I'm fine. It's just," he said, "Maureen, you know that you don't do humans." He said, "You only do ponies." I said, "I forgot that for a moment, Dave." But this chap, he just disappeared. And I think what it was, he was with someone, I believe, that's all we could think, is that he was with someone that he shouldn't have been with, and he didn't want it getting out there.
Yes, he didn't want them.
We did save this dear old lady that had been missing for over a day, and she was capsized on this frozen moor. It was horrendous. But so never failed.
I mean, you've said about, you've dealt with dealers and stuff. I mean, you had a meeting and you shot down, not literally shot down, but you spoke down.
Yes,
a very important person.
Yeah, it was. There was a council meeting, and is this the one you're talking about? Because I've been to a few where I've done that.
Yeah.
Because I don't, if an animal's involved, I don't let go of anything. And as far as I'm concerned, I represent that animal, and God help anyone else that don't follow suit. So I was at this meeting, and there had been a mare gave birth, and again it was in snow. She was giving birth out of season. It was on Bodmin Moor, and she gave birth and walked off and left it. Now, they don't usually do that unless something's wrong. Anyway, some kind lady came along, put it in her car, put it in home by the fire, called me, so I went down and took this foal in. Next thing, I'm at this big meeting where there is police, there's councillors, there's vets, there's trading standards, there's DEFRA, there's everybody there, everybody under the sun. National Trust, you name them, they're all there. There was about, 30, 40 people there. And I'd gone with I'd been invited, so I'd gone with my one of my staff that worked for me at the charity. And I said to her, "Please, if anything happens, just leave me to do any, because I know what these meetings can be like." And all of a sudden, the Trading Standards chap stood up, the chief one and the main one of the lot, and he said to me, because he didn't like that I wouldn't tow the rope and I wouldn't be in their pocket. And because I'd gone to the press about something. "You were invited to these meetings." Oh, I love the cat. "You were being invited to these meetings so we could all sort this sort of thing out." And I said, "I don't sit in anybody's pocket." And I said, "If something's going on about a pony, or an animal, I will stay in and do whatever." I said, "You didn't listen to what I had to say, so I brought the press in." And so he said, "Well, you realise I could prosecute you?" I said, "Oh, can you?" He said, "Yeah." He said, I forget this. He said, "Stealing a pony." So I said, "Oh, did I?" So he said, "Yes." He said, "You took a foal in." He said, "And you had no rights to, da-di-da-di-da." So I said, "Okay." So I stood up, put my wrists out like this in front of all these people. I said, "Go on, please arrest me." And they're all, even the police are looking at each other. I said, "Come on, arrest me. If I've stolen a pony, arrest me." Anyway, I said, "Well, first off, you ought to check your bloody facts." Mm-hmm. I reported this to the police. It's logged on their log, and I have a log number for it. And I have stated that the owner of this animal can come at any time and pick this foal up. But nobody's arrived. So I said, "So you better watch what you're saying, because I could likewise get you prosecuted." So I say, so just button your lip. I said, may I just add also that I work for a living and my taxes pay your wages. So I do this for free. So I just need you to know that I pay your wages. He never challenged me ever again. And I got invited to their meeting again. Funny that, isn't it?
That is hilarious. Go on, Maureen. Go on, Maureen.
You got to. I will not be bullied. No. I don't do bullies because there are ways of dealing with things. And if anyone tries to bully me, then I'm afraid my echoes go up and I just stand my ground. I've been at the market before now, monitoring the market. Everybody's gone home. And there were 30 yearlings all stuck in pens, and some of them were younger than yearlings. No water, no food, no bedding. And I made it a policy. I stayed at the markets until every single one of them was loaded and gone. And after everybody else had gone, the drovers that worked there and one of the auctioneers were there. There were about 6 of them come up and they were pushing me from one to the other. So I just let them push me from the outside. So I thought, carry on. I said, fine. And when they finished, they realized they weren't frightening me. I stood and I said, right, you finished? So I said, right. I said, they said, why are you here? I said, until all of those are loaded, I'm not going. And I don't care if it's all night. They're not going until tomorrow morning. I said, right, in that case then, you go and get the water, you go and get the bedding, and you go and get some bloody hay for this lot. And bed them all. They all did. They ran around going, don't do bullies. They don't frighten me. I've had gypsies turn up at my yard before now, and I've taken them on as well. And they said to me, lady, it's a long story, that one. Lady, you're not afraid of us? I said, no, I'm not. They said, the rest of them are, including the police. I said, yes, I know, because I keep being told not to go in your campsites on my own. But I always went in on my own. Never had any problems, only got respect in the end when they realised I didn't do all the frightening, and I just didn't. In fact, one of them said to me, anytime you have problems with gypsies, lady, you come to me, I'll sort them.
Yeah, that was it. When I had my pub in my early 20s, we had quite a few gypsies around our village, and yeah, they would go around pubs trashing them. Yeah, I had no problem because I stood the ground and I'd have the head poncho at the end of my bar drinking a whiskey, and he would be like, no one's going to touch your pub. And I was like, no, they're not, because I don't stand for your
nonsense. Go for you. Go for you. That's all they want is respect, and you know, and the fact that you're not afraid of them. And so yes, I've seen and done quite a lot in my poor life. Oh, bless you. Sorry, I could go on all night, Sally. That's my problem. My husband said to me, you will let someone else get a word in, won't you?
You're doing great. But yeah.
Time's up.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, because we could.
So sorry.
We could go on, but
I know.
What an amazing evening, Maureen.
Well, Dan, I love you to bits, darling. I really do. And it's always a pleasure when I see you at the fairs. I love you so much. So thank you for having me on. Hey. And thank you everyone out there for listening to this lovely old lady giving her experiences.
Hand on my heart, these guys have loved it. They're, you know, like I said before, sometimes it's like getting blood out of a stone, getting these guys to ask questions. You know, they're very good at talking about toadstools and mushrooms and things that look quite phallic, but when it comes to asking questions, they can be quite shy. And this evening, they have been flowing. So thank you all so much for coming on board and supporting and hearing about this incredible lady. She is fantastic. And, you know, we are great supporters of sharing is caring. So any information that Maureen would have about physical workshops next year, be sure that we will share those for you. So people on here will get to know about them. But website is there. Do get in touch. And any further questions, anything to help out with your pets or wildlife, do let her know. And yeah, you know, form a friendship, form a bond, and let's support one another.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm going to drop you down in the waiting room.
Okay.
You're happy to leave there?
Yes, I am. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. It has been amazing. You're an absolute diamond. Have a good evening. Give our love to your lovely husband. I'm sure he's missing you dearly.
He knows me too well. Have a nice evening. Bye, sweetheart. Thank you.
I will have you back with pleasure anytime.
Okay. You take care. Bye.
You take care. Night, sweetheart. Oh, and again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for giving Maureen a warm welcome here. She really deserves that. Just before we shoot off, tomorrow night, Thursday, is our online market. That has now been listed on our preview page. So if you go onto our business page, go into the events, you should see our business page, the preview page, and that will be on there. And you can scroll down to see what crystals are coming up tomorrow night in the market. Friday morning, I will be going live on Instagram to do some live card readings and to answer any questions that people might have around crystals. Might go a bit broader with some topics, but crystals is my comfort zone. And then Friday night, we're going to be doing our crystal quiz on Zoom. So if you're interested on that, please, again, go onto our business page, go onto the event page, find the quiz event, and just put that you are going, and then we will send you the link to the Zoom meeting to join us for that. It's a laugh. It is great. And then I'm looking forward to welcoming 8 people next Sunday for the It's a Kind of Magic workshop. It's fully booked. I've got a full team on board. Those crystals are on their way to you all, and I will send you a invitation to that Zoom meeting Saturday evening, Sunday morning beforehand. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining me tonight and the beautiful Maureen, and I will see you at some point throughout the weekend. Good night. God bless. Sweet dreams. Thank you all so much. You are superstars. Bye-bye.